The year is 2024, and you would think it has been decades since we vanquished segregation. Unfortunately, it seems college students have something else in mind. Hey freethinkers, Chandler here, and oh man, I saw the title of this video that we're about to watch, and I said to myself, oh, this is sad, but entertaining at the same time. The title of this video is, Would You Sign a Petition for White-Only Housing, Man on the Street? This Man on the Street is of course brought to you by our friends over at PragerU and Aldo Butazani. You guys already know the routine. Let's jump in and see what these college students in America truly think about the idea of segregated housing.
What's up guys, Aldo here with PragerU. Today I'm at California State University Northridge with some petitions for race-based dormitories. I'm gonna talk to students, see if we can get some signatures, and see if they think this is a form of racial segregation. Let's go. Today we're talking about equitable housing on college campuses. The idea
I'm scared of this one.
Is giving racial groups, safe spaces for their communities and their cultures. What do you think about that idea?
I think it's a good idea. If people of color would feel more comfortable in having like their own spaces where it's just like them and like groups of people like them, then I think that's a good thing.
Yeah, I mean, obviously it brings together the culture. It gives them like a safe space to be themselves.
Do you think it's important that racial groups have their own spaces that other races can't go into?
I mean, yeah, I feel like people should feel comfortable with their own race because I feel like that's where they're more outgoing and it's safe space for them.
So we have a petition we're getting people to sign today for Black student housing here at CSUN. Would you be willing to sign this?
Oh, yeah, sure.
Oh my goodness. This just shows you how insane we truly have become as a society, that we are literally having college students on college campuses willing to stand there and say, yeah, this sounds like a great idea. Let me sign on this petition for Black-only housing on a modern-day college campus. This is literally what segregationists and people back in the 50s and 60s stood up and said, yeah, this is a great thing, let's do it. And then when they had students like Ruby Bridges arrive at white-only schools saying, hey, maybe we shouldn't have white-only schools and black-only schools, why don't we just have schools? They would throw tomatoes at her, and they brought caskets with little black dolls in them and saying, oh, this, Ruby Bridges and other students like her are going to die for what they're trying to do. We had to fight for this right. And now we have college students here today saying, you know what, yeah, maybe we should get rid of it. Okay.
So one of the biggest arguments against this is people claim that it's a form of racial segregation. Do you think that's accurate? What do you think about that claim?
I mean, I can see why, but I mean, it's more important for people to feel safe around their own kind.
Do you think
Did she say own kind? Run that back. Oh, no.
What do you think about that claim?
I mean, I can see why, but I mean, it's more important for people to feel safe around their own kind.
Do you think it's important?
What happened to the years of progression we thought we had? What happened to being anti-racist? What happened to Black Lives Matter or Stop Asian Hate? Now we're not even the same kind anymore? It's almost as if these movements that they've been pushing for years have been segregating us more than uniting us. It's almost as if the people that were saying all lives matter truly did believe that all lives mattered and that we were one humankind. And those that didn't agree with all lives matter clearly thought we were separate races and separate species, apparently.
Important that every race have spaces that are specifically dedicated to their race?
Yes.
Why?
Because it's like an understanding of each other's. It's like there's a common knowledge, and I don't know how to explain it, but like a connection there, if that makes any sense.
So we also have
I'm waiting for one person to disagree. I mean, we're only granted a minute into this video, but that's already like, what, 20% of the way through the video? I'm not the greatest at math, but we're a good bit through this bar in the bottom here, and we have not had a single person say, wait, this doesn't sound right. This sounds like something we learned about in history not too long ago. Please, maybe this lady is the one to disagree. Please.
I have a petition for Asian student housing. What are your thoughts on other racial groups?
She's nodding.
Black people having their own.
They should all have their own. It shouldn't just be for blacks. It should be for every race. If you feel more comfortable around your people, congregating with your people, then that's what it should be.
Would you want to sign this for us as well?
Yep, there it goes.
Getting a lot of signatures, guys. This is awesome. What if those spaces
So
exclude
awesome.
certain races? For example, if the black student housing excludes other races, do you still see that as being okay?
That's a tough like gray area because like on one hand it's like giving black students like an environment to thrive in, you know, with people like them, but on the other hand,
Oh, this is killing me, guys. People like them. Oh my God. I can't stand this. I don't know how much more of this I can watch. Oh, it hurts. Oh, it hurts.
and yet excluding people like of different races, you know, that's like not a good thing. So I don't know. I guess it's like some gray area.
They're starting
Would
to
you
see
be
it.
willing to advocate for, race-based classrooms here on campus?
No.
If segregation or if, only spaces for minorities or other racial.
Now, see, this guy was signing a second ago saying, oh, yeah, we should have black-only student housing. Or maybe, I think he also signed for the Asian-only student housing. Well, then what's the difference between having the student housing and having only a black classroom, huh? Why don't you explain this to me?
Groups in dormitories is helping their culture and making them feel safe. Why not classrooms?
Right.
Well, because it doesn't allow other people to come together and learn about each other.
Basing it off of race in dormitories, does that not impede people's ability to learn those other cultures?
No, I mean, it's not like you're being denied. The space is already created for white people. A lot of these buildings are dedicated to white people. You see little plaques and it's dedicated to white people.
That's not the same thing. Oh no, how ignorant can these college students be? It's almost like they let anybody into these places. Dedicated to a white person, more than likely somebody that donated a ton of money so that the building could exist, does not mean the exact same thing as only allowing white people into the building.
So to sort of turn around and say like, oh, if we create a space based on minorities and say that, oh, that's actually racist, then you're kind of saying, well, your culture doesn't matter. What matters here is our comfortability.
So I don't know if you want to sign this one, but we also do have one more petition for white student housing here at CSUN. Would you be willing to sign this one as well?
Sure.
Oh, awesome.
Oh my gosh. This is unbelievable. He stood there and was like, sure, why not? They're all, no, you can't be serious. They're all signing it. No. I mean, I guess if all things are equal, just like, what was it they said back in the 1800s? Oh yeah, separate but equal. Oh.
Would you be willing to sign this for us as well?
What would be the purpose of that? Because white people have privilege, so why would we need our own housing? People of color, people who are discriminated against and face like injustice and inequity. White people do not have that problem. A white person in the U.S. has the utmost privilege over all races. We don't need like a white safe space. That's not necessary.
But if they feel like they need that space, then why would that be wrong?
Why would a white person feel less comfortable in other races? That's
She's
their own
mad.
problem.
Do you feel like it's a contradiction for you to advocate that other races?
Such thing as reverse racism.
I'm not saying racism, but I'm saying you argued that other races can have their spaces if they feel like they need it, but not white people.
Yeah, that's because white people are privileged. We are at the top of the social hierarchy in the U.S.
Do you think that
That's white supremacy. Oh, she's a white supremacist. Guys, let me break something down for you real quick. Let me break something down. To all my college students out there and anybody else that stands here and saying, well, Chandler, why wouldn't I want this on my college campus? That girl right there, and you can say, oh, well, it's about the privilege. What she just said at the end there, quote unquote, white people are at the top of the social hierarchy in America. Do you know what that is? By definition, now I'm sure maybe you guys could point to some other dictionary's definition, but in my mind, the definition of white supremacy is somebody believing that the white race is superior to all other races. if you say that white people are at the top of the social hierarchy, they're up here, does that not make you a white supremacist? Hey, you can disagree, you can yell at me, you can scream, but based off of everything that I know and simple logic with words, if you believe that, you're a white supremacist.
There's a racial divide in America right now.
Yeah. There's always been a racial divide.
Do you think that things like this help the racial divide or hurt it?
I think it helps it. It gives them a space where they're not going to be looked down upon because of the race or their culture.
One of the privileges I think that's most glaring is, it was just struck down, but affirmative action. So for example, students of color getting preferential treatment over white students. I feel like that's
this
a form
is going to
of
be
racism.
good.
Racism against white people?
Yeah.
Girl, no. White racism does not exist.
No, not even if black people are getting preferential treatment in school admissions.
That is just not. I don't. Can I ask what's your political stance?
Oh my gosh! Wait, I have to see how this plays out.
Are you a conservative?
I am a conservative, yes. Is that a problem?
Yes.
Why?
She's shutting down. She was like, wait a minute. I know what the problem is. I know why this person isn't agreeing with everything I'm saying. You're a conservative, aren't you?
Goodbye.
All right. Bye.
All right, guys. I think we're going to stop it there. That was probably one of the most entertaining ones I've seen so far. Some of the other ones I've sat back and have just been absolutely flabbergasted, but that right there was comical. Just pure comedy. You couldn't write anything better than that. So huge shout out to Aldo Butazani over at PragerU for doing this extremely entertaining man on the street and going to the college, I think it was California State, and hearing from what some of our college students truly think about where America needs to go in regards to race relations. If you're interested in supporting my ability to keep bringing content like this to you guys, please be sure to visit donorbox.org/support-Chandler and consider a donation. Or if you're interested in purchasing some merchandise that supports the channel, please feel free to go to mypillow.com and use code CRUMP, that is code CRUMP, for a discount on a pillow, sheets, slippers, and many more today. Aside from all that, I'll catch you next time, free thinkers. Don't forget to spread the virus of intelligence.